Will Michigan football's Joe Milton be the next maize and blue quarterback to beat Ohio State? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Well, first of all, I think I'm done with all of my NBA coverage for this year. I just can't do any more of this Laker stuff. So so no more NBA videos for the rest of 2020. No, I'm just playing. I might do one or two more, but the bulk of the remaining content for 2020 will be Michigan football. So this video is going to focus on Joe Milton, who is the next man up in terms of the Michigan football signal caller. And Michigan football has a long storied past of at least great college quarterbacks. Only a few have gone on to the pro level to experience tremendous success, and probably the most notable is Tom Brady, who I got to see play live my first year of graduate school in Ann Arbor. But in terms of the title of this video, I left a question mark at the end because, even though Joe is a stud quarterback, as I will describe, and he's got all of the measurables and all of the upside, under Jimmy's watch, we haven't beaten Ohio yet, so you just don't know. He's had talented stud wide receivers on that revenge tour team. He had a 6'8" tight end and a defense that was good enough to win, and that whole thing got flushed down the toilet. In my opinion, his best chance to win before that was in 2016 with Brady Hoke's players, and that slipped away from us. And you had all the graduate transfer quarterbacks, and it's just at this point, who knows? But I think that, as I'll describe in this video, I think that this quarterback gives us a chance, a legitimate chance, again, to beat Ohio. So let's see. So could Joe be the next Michigan quarterback to beat Ohio State? And of course, Buckeye fan, yeah, I did call you guys Ohio, and in the spirit of Brady Hoke, who surprisingly was the last Michigan football head coach to beat Ohio State. Wow. Yeah, that victory does have a bit of an asterisk next to it. The Buckeye program was in a bit of flux that season. Luke Fickell had stepped in as the interim coach. Braxton Miller was a true freshman, and even then, we did not win that game decisively. It came down to a Braxton Miller interception that locked that up for us. Quarterbacking for him in that game was Denard Shoelaces Robinson. And then going back before Denard Robinson, it was John Navarre in the 2003 season. So it took 8 years. Of course, you had the whole Rich Rod turnover thing, but Chad Henne was Lloyd Carr's next stud quarterback, and they couldn't get it done against Jim Tressel and Troy Smith. So going back before John Navarre, it was Drew Henson in 2000, and before him it was Tom Brady in 1999, and before him it was Brian Griese in the storybook 1997 season. But it's been Denard Robinson was the last Michigan quarterback to beat Ohio State, and Brady Hoke was the last Michigan head coach to beat Ohio State. So just some perspective and context for this whole discussion. So Joe Milton has emerged as the guy. And so my early memories of Joe Milton are, I'm thinking back to the ashes of our 2017 season when Wilton Speight got knocked out against Purdue, where he injured his back. He wound up transferring out. There was a quarterback carousel with Brandon Peters and John O'Korn. And so then there was uncertainty going into that 2018 Revenge Tour season. And of course, that's when Jim went the grad transfer route again and brought in Shea. And but even when Shea was being brought in, the question was, even before Shea agreed and for the NCAA green lighted it, the question was who was going to get it. Was it going to be Dylan McCaffrey? Was it going to be, let's see, who else was in there? Was it going to be Brandon Peters? And that's when I saw that they were recruiting some kid from Florida named Joe Milton. And I remember seeing Joe's high school footage. I remember the strong arm. I remember him dropping back and just zipping the ball down the field. And I was thinking, wow, who's this guy? But also, wow, they're adding another quarterback to the mix. This is going to get confusing. Who's going to win the job now? And I also remember seeing his mobility in that game. And I looked him up. Okay, I said, okay, he's a tall, athletic kid. He can throw the ball. He can run. He's got a lot of athletic talent. But who's going to get the job with all these quarterbacks in the mix? And so, again, I've talked about this on my channel. Jim wanted Shea. He brought in Shea. And because of that, Dylan McCaffrey and Joe had to sit for 2 years while Shea did what he did. And so here we are now, even with COVID, or should I say in the midst of COVID and in the midst of the quarterback competition, Joe has stepped up and won the job. So this is our guy going forward. So if you haven't, please like the video. The likes are free. So in Josh Gaddis's speed and space spread offense, the last year we had Shea, and of course the last 2 years Jimmy raved about Shea and his ball skills. But Shea didn't shape out, in my opinion, to be a stellar passer. And the argument could be made that the speed and space offense was tailor-made for someone like Shea. And I think that the argument can be made for this is tailor-made for someone like Joe. So let's talk about Joe's measurables. He's 6'5", and looking at the Michigan Athletic Department's website, he's about 243 pounds. And I think depending upon where you look, that number may vary. But he's a big kid. He's a big kid. He's got I don't remember how tall Shea was. I think Shea was about 6'1", 6'2", something like that. But Joe is about, Wilton Spate's height, but he's got that Cam Newton size. And again, he's got that mobility. So he's got a strong arm, and he's mobile. And Matt Leinart, the storied quarterback from USC, who's now on Fox Sports, was quoted as saying that Joe Milton reminds him of one Cameron Newton. So hopefully, with Joe, no laptops, get up and walk away. I believe that's why Cam was initially dismissed from, not initially, he was dismissed from Florida, and then, as we know, he resurfaced at Auburn, where he was a terror for that year for the SEC and Nick Saban's Alabama Crimson Tide team. But I think the point is that Cam had size and a strong arm, and he was a dual threat. He could run, he could pass, he could plow into defenders, and in many instances he could elude defenders. So without seeing Joe play the position full time, he's reminding Matt Leinart of Cam Newton, and Cam played in the best conference in the Power Five. And so if we have that kind of talent, that is a very good forecast for our offense going forward. Now, another thing is that a former Michigan quarterback, Devin Gardner, has given Joe Milton rave reviews as well. And that's captured in an article. I was going to read the text, or I was going to read Devin's quotes verbatim, but I'm just going to leave the article in the description box below so that you could read it for yourself. And I think the fact that Devin is giving him this endorsement means a lot. Devin didn't have as much success as he could have when he was our signal caller. There was a lot of turnover in terms of the coaching staffs, and I don't think he received the protection he needed to succeed as our quarterback. But the kid could play, and the kid was highly touted coming in. And he's an analyst now, I believe, for one of Fox's one of their networks, and so he knows football. And so I think that the fact that he's giving Joe a thumbs up the way that he is, I think that means a lot. And I think they might have worked together a little bit. So Joe's got a strong arm. He's mobile, and he has tremendous upside. But here's the thing: he hasn't played much. So despite all of his measurables and all of his physical attributes on paper, he still has to show that he can play the position in real time once play starts. A lot of players are really stellar in practice, in mini camps and in preseason, but it's a totally different thing once you have opposing defenders running at you, and once injuries start taking hold on your season. So we have to see what he does once play starts. Based upon what I've read, it looks like he's a redshirt junior. One on the M Go Blue website and the athletic department's website, it showed that he's a junior. But in one of the articles I read that I'm going to leave in the description box below, it says that he's a sophomore. I always get this redshirt stuff mixed up, but I think he has 2 to 3 years left, which is good for us, because if he stays and he grows into the position, that could be pretty good for us in terms of continuity, because the quarterback position at these high levels in one of the Power 5 conferences, and then at the pro level, oftentimes it's something that the players have to grow into and they have to get comfortable playing that position. So I think he has about 2 to 3 years left. Now he has the talent But is he the guy to finally lead us over the Buckeyes? And if things go the way they've been going, where those losses either slip through our fingers by way of blowouts or some sort of blunder or poor game planning, how long will he stay? You know, if he has 3 years left and things and our team blows farts in those games, how long will he stay? Especially if he's mismanaged on the biggest stages, like our Revenge Tour team was mismanaged in 2018. I know some of the Michigan fan base might not like hearing that, but the Revenge Tour team was mismanaged. And you can go back to Steve Dace's Michigan podcast to, you know, I'll refer him as an alibi. Everybody knows that Jim and Don kind of mismanaged that one. 3 stud wide receivers and a 6'8" tight end. I'll just leave that there. And I'm going to close with saying that Joe and his talent could be the key to Jim keeping his job and ending his tenure in Ann Arbor with some level of respectability. So he could be the key to Jim keeping his job and salvaging this whole thing, or this could be another notch in Jim's departure from Ann Arbor. So we're at a bit of a crossroads here. And I think that Joe could be the guy to lead us, to finally lead us over Ohio. And if we don't get it done with this guy, you know, we may likely not get it done anytime soon. So I'm going to stop this here. Based upon what I'm reading about this kid and his measurables, I'm going to buy the Joe Milton stock right now. And I'm going to say that this is our guy, and I think this guy can lead us over the Buckeyes. Maybe not this year. They have most of their team back. Justin Fields, I think Dobbins is gone. But, you know, they're loaded and they're confident and they're the bully on the block. So it may not be this year. The game is down there at the Snake Pit. But if Joe stays for a number of years, yeah, I think he'll get at least one for us. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. You too, Buckeye fan. I know I did say Ohio a couple times, and I did take a couple of jabs there. But you're our rival, so that's what all this is for. We're supposed to have some fun here. It's sports. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Go Blue. I think in follow-up videos, I'm gonna look at some of the other positions. Like I wanna do a video on the wide receiver core now that Nico Collins is gone, and I saw another article about another freshman or a freshman who seems to be standing out in the linebacker core. So again, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Go Blue, and as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye. Hey y'all, a quick outro here. I'm still getting used to this new setup. I bought a tripod earlier this month, and I'm still getting used to the setup of where the tripod is positioned and actually seeing some of my notes on my screen. But I forgot to mention something. In terms of Joe, one of the other things, in addition to him learning the position, the playbook, and those kinds of things, one of the things that I read was that his arm is so strong that they've had to work on that with him in terms of throwing the short routes and throwing the intermediate routes. So if you do some of the reading on his progress and what they've had to work on, and what things Ronnie Bell and Josh Gaddis have said about him. They've talked about his strong arm and his mobility and his ultra competitiveness, which is something that you want from your quarterback. I'm looking at you, Shea Patterson, at the golf course. But I just wanted to add that, yeah, that's one thing that he's had to work on, allegedly, is putting touch on the ball, throwing those short routes and throwing those intermediate routes. And so that's something for us to look out for as we're watching Joe play this season. Because in this speed and space offense, he's going to have to hit guys, going across the middle. He's going to have to hit guys out in the flat. He's going to have to, thread the needle at certain times. Throw some fade routes. Not just deep balls on post patterns and go routes. So I just wanted to add this onto the back of the video because it's something that I had noted that I didn't mention during the main part of the video because I'm still getting used to my new setup here. So I'm going to stop here. I'll talk to you next time. Go Blue.